Hey guys, Tyrip here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Crossroads Winter, playing for today, spawning on the south. We have Stormjager playing as OKW, and his loadout is Luftwaffe ground forces, ground offensive, and elite armor. As offensive, we have SM91 playing as Soviets, straight away locking into Soviet combined arms. Interesting tactic here. Puts down the wire in a straight line to put some sandbags behind it. In terms of ranks, actually, Stormjager rank 60, SM91 rank 55 as Soviets. Still going to be a few cover positions back there though. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have played much on Crossroads Winter, but a lot of action on the cutoffs, especially can be hard to face against US forces as Osir or play against OKW, because they are so well situated to make constant harassers onto these rather far forwards cutoff positions. So it can be tricky. But we see SM91 taking a very slow start, playing very defensively. Back the other way, we also see Stormjager not really trying to get his Sturm Pioneers too heavily involved in the early game, which is genuinely, I think, a bit of a mistake, especially if SM91 had gone for a tier 1 start. He's looking to go penals. You really want to get your Sturm Pioneers in there, forcing away the combat engineers from capping. Or Molotov, well. Ouch, took quite a lot of damage getting out there as well. Oh, manages to stall the cutoff. Hangs on there, back the other way. We've got a cutoff attempt by the Folks. Should be able to beat the conscripts at that low amount of health. But yeah, generally I do think like you have to get your Sturm Pioneers involved somewhat early on, I think, against Soviets. Just in case they're going for tier 1, you really want to force those capping combat engineers off the map to try and maximize the period of time you have before the M3A1 arrives and starts to force you off the field to maximize that window. So I think he kept with it for a little bit too long there. But now, eventually, cutoff is successful. This is where Soviets can have a bit of trouble fighting back onto the map. Still a little bit too early before he can field a squad of guards to assist. And because he went for the Molotovs, doesn't quite have medics yet.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
I think this is a fair choice here. He's branching out to the other side. Because trying to charge head on to these units behind heavy cover is not going to work out too well. I suppose Molotovs are actually not that big of a detour. They cost a little bit more manpower than that. Predictive incendiary grenade there, and it works out pretty well. Runs right into it. If there wasn't a second squad here to assist in the engagement, oh boy, he runs back into it. Oh, what is he doing? Okay. If there wasn't a second squad here to back up, he might even be able to win in that engagement because of that grenade. Slowly he's forcing away these squads, but what a huge cost it's taking the Soviet player. Never managed to really get his medics online. Ordinarily around this time as Soviets, you would hope to have like medics and maybe your first squad of call and infantry. That has not been the case so far this match. Look at the KDs here, 22 to 15, yeah, pretty steep. Conscripts are a bit cheaper to reinforce than Fox Trinitys, of course, but A bit of a tough one. We've got mechanized going down for Stormjager. Pretty standard stuff so far. Mine going down here for SM91. I think that's a good choice to try and protect this cutoff. Very common area for foot traffic and for vehicles. Most likely you get triggered by foot traffic, but if that helps you hold on to your cutoff for a bit longer, I'd say that's money or munitions well spent. Let's try to focus down the stern pose. Maybe this is where the mine can assist him. Yep, 2 models down. The Molotov in. Oh, he threw it into his cover position there. Interesting. And there goes the incendiary grenade after the concussive grenade. Still in the flames a little bit. But I think the conscript should be able to win this. These squads are just a little bit too low. And I think honestly the mine he's swung that in SM91's favour. Going for some guards now. But as I said, these guards are coming in quite late. And we're going to be up against the looks very, very shortly. And he hasn't started his tech yet. So he's in a bit of a manpower crunch right now because engagements have been so bloody for SM91. And this is where you can often get trapped as Soviets. You kind of want to get a ZIS out, but you can't really afford to tech and then get the ZIS, and then you get forced off the map by the pressure from the looks. Hope to get the AT grenade off, maybe. A lot of decisions right now. As a Soviet player, you can just try double down, just do it with 2 squads of guards. Don't even worry about the ZIS. See what option SM91 takes. Tiny bit slow, but not too bad. I'll try to retreat early so you can try heal up as much as possible. He's got the AT grenade, so that's been his choice on how to deal with this. Looks coming in. Gonna take a snare. Okay, that's pretty good for the Soviet player. Slow down the looks early on. He's back at base, so yeah, that's a good snare. That buys the Soviet player a lot of time here. It looks like he's actually coming across, maybe thinking about the kill. Getting the guards across. He looks backing away in this direction. We've got 2 squads of folks nearby, and now he's backing a slightly more aggressive angle. Let's get in there for a couple more. Looks like he's coming in for the merge. Incendiary grenades. He's behind the trees. Looks like the looks is going to get away. Ooh, could lose his guards. Oh. He didn't have enough munitions for an AT grenade. I think that's why he gave up the chase there. Really needed the AT grenade to seal the last bit of damage to kill the looks. But because of that, it meant that he once again took a lot of bleed on his squads trying to do that kill on the looks. Just didn't end up panning out. Doesn't have the upgrade on his guards either because of this Molotov spam. Molotovs have been performing okay for him so far though. Maybe a few of those predictive Molotovs have been a bit of a waste, but otherwise generally been reasonable. Oh, concussive grenade, Molotov. Yeah, maybe that one's a bit of a waste. Especially now that he's got guards, and getting those DPs would be really nice. Trying to conserve a little bit of munitions, especially that kind of engagement where you're definitely going to retreat anyway because of the looks. If it's an engagement that maybe you can win, hold on to the territory because you throw the Molotov, you can understand throwing predictive Molotov. Oh, very close call, but not in that other scenario.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
So grenade in, squad out. Still quite a few numbers here in the center for the Soviet player. With the guards there as well. Good Molotov that time. Only 3 models here. Pretty high health. These are like maybe 5 models. Might have got the kill there. And now we see a Puma from Stormjager before even a light vehicle from SM91. Just because SM91 the option of just not going for a light vehicle at all himself, which is probably the way to go at this stage. And as I said, probably, I think going for the Zis is the right choice. Means you'll suffer a little bit less bleed to the looks trying to get damage in on it. Since you can obviously fire that at a much longer range, but you could also go for a second squad of guards, conceivably. That being said, the guards in this exact scenario maybe not going to be, well, second squad maybe wouldn't be that useful since you can't upgrade them with the LMGs. But we haven't seen Stormjager branch out to the cutoff in a long time. He's been fighting around the center a lot. Like he should have been sending a squad over here to neutralize the cutoff a bit more frequently. And a little bit more laterally, making a bit of better use of the Lux's high mobility rather than just constantly running into the exact same position with it. Try to pull your opponent from side to side. So you're going to come in, but once again doesn't have enough munitions to finish the job with AT grenades alone, so just going to slow it down a little bit.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Oh, he's trying to squeeze in tier 2 now, okay. Or tier 3 rather. Bit slow on the repairs. He does have the the repair upgrade. But this isn't quite a defensive position all the way back here. Maybe park it a little bit closer to the action. You know, Von Ivan's a fan of that. On the regular Crossroads, of course.
We now have access to additional battlefield options.
Back the other way, Stormjager also has been pretty grenade heavy. And hasn't managed to upgrade any of his squads with STGs so far. Good sweeping there. Which is kind of allowing SM91 to trade a bit more effectively than you would usually see at this point in the game. Usually you'll be STG Fox just bullying conscripts off the map, but no munitions for the upgrade because so many grenades thrown so far. Well, we've got a command section, Luftwaffe ground forces, airdropping in some Stormjager. Made, oh, okay, gets out of there, and looking for the wipe here on these conscripts. Chasing them down the road. Might take engine damage for the trouble though. At this stage you probably should stay in. Yep. Have to get the wipe until they start moving. Squad down. Can he extract himself safely now though? He's got the guards on his retreat path. Nothing to chase them away. Doesn't end up being a good trade. And now he brings the Puma in. This thing's been parked near his cutoff for about 2 or 3 minutes. I guess he hoped to smoke out of there, but you didn't have the backup. Where did he airdrop the Stormjager into? I thought he was trying to airdrop them into the center, try and swing the engagement in his favor. And look at this, while this has been going on, SM91 managing to get himself out. T-34, that's how little harassment we've seen on the cutoff since that, you know, initial early burst from Stormjager. I think that was a pretty big mistake from him, harassing this a little bit more frequently. It has allowed a very fast T-34 timing. Stormjager does have the Puma to try and counter this. But no Raketins yet. Fortunately, you still do have the Faust available. Otherwise this investment into double falls would maybe be a little bit more punished by the T-34. Maybe next patch. There we go, smashes through sandbag, threatening the crush. Well done. And that should allow him to cap up a whole bunch of territory. Puma coming in, looking for some shots. Coming across to the cutoff now. But the guards escorting T-34. Good play there from SM91. A couple miles down, but Fox should be able to get out of there. Oof. Close call, Puma looking for a shot. Guards nearby though, this is why it's important to have the guards there. So they can threaten the Puma. But there's just a big old blob coming through the center, so guards decide to pull back to a more defensive position. Oh yeah, I was about to say that he's on the wrong side of cover. That's a recipe for friendly fire. Now T-34 kind of has to back out a little bit. No 7-man upgrades quite yet from SM91. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for that first or for the DPs on the guards. Maybe it might be the conscripts, honestly, because he's using the guards more in an anti-tank role, trying to zone out the Puma at the moment. And the button doesn't really help too much against the Puma since it has this smoke. I could see going for conscript upgrades over the guards in this scenario. At the moment, Stormjager with the triple cap. SM91 draining out fast. Decide to go for a Maxim. A lot of repairs required now on his T-34. One thing that we haven't seen from Stormjager so far is many mines go down on it, I think. Something you could really take advantage of SM91 with only one combat engineer. Doesn't have a minesweeper. A couple mines could really help against this T-34 and could spell its death, you know, if the T-34 runs over a mine. Puma could very easily finish it off. Starting to accumulate a decent chunk of munitions now as well. But yeah, the Puma so far, you know, as we've seen, just hasn't really panned out. It's been a bit of luggage, honestly. I set up his tech truck, probably going to get interrupted by the neutralize. Puma nearby, but can't do much against the guards over there. And T-34 back up to full. Still no raketting for Stormjager. Try and put up his tech instead. Luckily the T-34's gun not facing this direction, the machine gun, the hull gun. So he's not taking too much damage on the squad. Could take a lot now. Heavy cover's gone. And second Maxim from SM91. Very interesting choice. A little bit surprised by that. I wonder if he's going to try to put down a Howie. It's conceivable. I wonder on this map, you know, maybe a howitzer will be better in this position over here rather than usually you see it on this on the regular Crossroads. Assuming you do try to play a little bit more defensively around this area, coming straight out of your base. On the winter variant.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Oh, let's drop a DP. They did get the DPs. That's a long run down the road. And they end up going down to the double Stormjager. Oh, could have a revenge kill here. Oh, very, very close. Might have been worth chasing in for that one. Conscripts pick up the DP.
1 2 3 remain. 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 1
Not really that good though, is it? Oh, I've only got one weapon slot. I can't get the 7-man upgrade now. I suppose because he's so strapped for munitions, he's struggling to get a 7-man anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much in this exact scenario, but ordinarily it would be marginal whether you would want to actually pick that up or not with the conscripts. Since I can't pick up a second one.
Anti-tank gun is ready for action.
Ooh, very nearly lost that there. Always got to be careful when that upgun comes online. And another mine going down for SM91. Good to see from him. And now picking up his this finally. But he would have got this a long time ago, you know, but he's performed pretty well without one, honestly. I think it was, you know, maybe assisted by the looks going in for that dive and not being able to extract itself properly against the guards. Otherwise, I think it would have been under a little bit too much pressure, but hasn't been the case so far this game. Not a grenade in, but no white. Why don't you just get out? And now a Katyusha from SM91, so we're not going to see the howitzer, unfortunately. Going to be the caddy. He's up against a commander that he knows doesn't have a big off-map to bomb it out, though, so let's make it a slightly safer choice. There's this there. T-34 bleeding these advancing troops really nicely, though. Ooh, even a Zis barrage there. Cancels it at an effective time. Oh, and gets a shot off on the Puma as it backs out. Everything going right there for SM91. And now a Panzer IV coming in from him. Oh, second set mines. Oh my god! That was lucky. That could have been a dead Stormjager squad. And they had the weapon upgrade as well. That would have been a big loss. Okay, we've got the Katyusha. Let's see what it can do. 100 VPs left for SM91. He's got to be getting a little bit desperate now. And he's in a somewhat dangerous position. Might be a little bit hard to defend his Katyusha against a rush from these vehicles from Stormjager here. A lot of units back here reinforcing. Well, clock has stopped. Well, turning against Stormjager now. 85 remaining, but there's not a big margin to work with for SM91. Causes you to make some suboptimal plays when you have such a low amount of VPs this early in the match. Take ground here, no. We have the there's this nearby waiting in camouflage mode as well. And you can still creep forwards with the Zis and camouflage, unlike the Raketin. Very slowly though. But yeah, it would have been nice to see, you know, where the Panzer IV was behind the hedgerow there to try and attack ground on his rear armour. Attempt, yeah, here he goes, Zis crawling forwards, setting up. It's a good shot in there. T-34 going for an attack round, but missing. Nice attempt though. Capping down here, gonna set up a machine gun to cover that VP. I think that's a good choice. And put a tripwire on it to provide sight for the machine gun, because it might not have sight on like the far edge. Nice touch. Well, that being said, the tripwire may be a little bit too close to the flag if somebody comes and just tries to stand right on the edge so that they don't get revealed by the area of sight close to the VP flag. Might not get triggered, the tripwire flare. Second T-34 coming in for SM91. It's a good meme. T-34 spam. S-35 would be a much safer choice. But he's showing he's not afraid to take some chances. Very rare to see Soviet combined arms. Kind of like the red-headed stepchild to guard rifle combined arms. Ooh, Valiant Assault activated. Machine gun goes down. That's a pretty nasty blob. T-34's there for a bit of bleed. Doesn't want to close in and risk getting double Fausted, getting snared. Katyusha coming in to try and stop the steal, and he wipes the recruit Maxim. Doesn't quite get the wipe on the squad that was trying to crew it though. Nice attempt. Just swing up. T-34 decides to pull back. Can't quite get a shot off on the Puma there. T-34's got to be careful. He really wants to recrew this Maxim. You can see it. He's trying to guard it here. Doesn't quite have the support he needs though. No squads available for the snare. A T-gun too far away and could lose it here. Nope, Puma misses an important shot. In comes the second T-34. But that wasn't on full health. T-34 misses an attack round. This finally coming through the middle. Takes out camouflage to get in close. He's one shot in, but that's not enough. Goes for another attack round, hoping to take out the T-34 there, but doesn't get it. Ooh, this attack round very close to the Puma. Almost dead. Smoking out to escape. We can go for the steal on the Maxim now. Overall, that went very well for Stormjager. A little bit clumsy there from SM91. No squads nearby for the snare. T-34, second one coming in, wasn't full health. And the Zis was a bit slow getting into action. He's just like a little bit too aggressive leaving the T-34 that far forwards for that long. Should have pulled back a little bit earlier. Oh, get a wipe here. No, bundle grenade's going to force him to move. No, it didn't force him to move, and he got the wipe. Well, he took a risk and it paid off. Here we go, close range Katyusha onto the machine gun. This time the scatter not so good on the first volley. And the second one also missing. Nice attempt though with the Katyusha. Maybe looking for the cap on the far side. SM91 got to be careful. He's low on VPs. He's going for this one. Oh, he repaired up the Puma first. Interesting choice.
Supply half track is in action. Standing by for setting of
Been quite aggressive with this position here. It's a fresh T-34 by the way. Another one. And Stormjager going for his next tech truck. Oh boy. Oh, didn't cancel the sandbags for so long. Lose the squad because of it. A little bit sloppy there. Yeah, gonna put down his mid truck it looks like. Maybe even consider going for the King Tiger. He's got a lot of fuel available. It's a valid option. Some blasting through this pretty quickly. It's decrewed. There's a conscript squad nearby for the recrew though. Oh, could be a wipe. Overall, Stormjager, I have to say, is retreated so many times. Like, it's a little bit too low. Not quite safe enough on multiple occasions this match. Got very lucky most of the occasions. The first time we got punished was those conscripts dodging the bundle grenade over here, getting the wipe. There could have been like 2 or 3 more wipes against Stormjager very easily this game. Pushing those limits a little bit too far, I'd say. 34, not having much luck against the Panzer IV here. Bouncing and missing. But the T-34 spam is containing Stormjager pretty well. His Puma has been not very active. Now 3 T-34s. They can almost substitute themselves for infantry. There you go, another late retreat, this time getting punched by the T-34. Lucky shot from the T-34 at that range though, I have to say. Stormjager a little bit short on manpower now. So quite far away from his next tank. No Raketen support, and he's going in. Puma, Panzer IV combo. We've got 2 T-34s here. Third one could potentially come in as well. Is this coming across? Looking to assist. And he needs to retreat that conscript. In fact, he might already have lost it now with the double Vet 2 Stormjager coming in. Looks like he's bringing forwards his T-34 to act as a bit of a distraction, but it's not enough. Squad down. Once again, a careless play from SM91, costing him a squad. So far, the T-34 is not trading terribly well. Bouncing and missing a lot. There's this. Oh, he left it over here. I saw him moving across to the middle. Definitely should have, and should still be. Going for the kill here. On T-34. Oh, good use of the aim shot. Jamming the turret on that T-34. Shusha barrage onto the support weapons. T-34 goes down to the Panzer IV. Second T-34 coming in. I think he still needs 2 shots to kill that Puma. Maybe the guards can make the difference. No, guards throwing a grenade instead of going for the Puma kill. In comes the last T-34. This one going down as well. Oh man, and just missing every shot. Stormjager go down throwing a bundle grenade, but now P4 looking for the revenge wipe, and the guards go down as well. And all the while, this is on the far side doing nothing. Oh boy! Oh man. Oh, I was about to lose the machine gun inside the building as well. Oh, could this be a moment here? Panzer IV hits a mine. Is this now coming across? But man, he should have brought this across so much earlier on. That's why I do advocate having your AT guns ideally bound to your control groups. So that, you know, even if you're in the heat of a battle and you can't afford to maybe even open the tactical map or move the map across to your AT gun and order it into the fight, you can just very quickly hit a control group and just right click it, even A click it into battle. And that could have made all the difference in that last tank engagement. Very easily could have taken down both of Stormjager's vehicles if this contributed even just 1 shot. But now SM91 playing a bit more conservatively, going for an SU-85. Which would have been a better option instead of a third T-34, even the second T-34. And this is why maybe guide rifle combined arms is better, because you can get the KV-1, similar anti-infantry performance. Ooh, nice caddy, gets the wipe there. Similar anti-infantry performance to T-34. In fact, maybe even better, right? I think it's just got a slightly higher rate of fire on the main gun. Now it's got the same machine guns as well. Act as a meat shield, much safer against these opposing tanks. Bounce a lot more shots, and then let the SU-85 do the heavy lifting for the anti-tank duties. But I admire this attempt, and he does have the recon plane, which can help targeting those indirect fire bursts, as we saw there. Knocking out the stern piles. Another late retreat. Lucky retreat path doesn't go past the bundle grenade. And Stormjager finally accumulates enough resources for the King Tug. He's up against an SU-85, which is probably the best tank destroyer against the KT. Since it can use its focus sight mode to get those long range shots off without any squads having to spot for it. And even on focus sight mode, it's, you know, comparable speed to the King Tiger, which is so slow. Because usually the focus sight mode may be a little bit more punishing to the mobility. This king target doesn't matter so much. Oh, and a bad man of GG call here. From Stormjager, wow. I'd like to see that. Bit of a overcorrection on the Zis. And a grenade. Oh yeah. He got it. He maneuvered it well. Maybe a little bit clumsy on the AT gun positioning there from SM91. And now he's going to drain out. Definitely doesn't have any squads available for the cap. Well, yeah, I respect SM91's attempt here, try and do something a little bit different from the norm. Some off-meta action, but I feel like his triple T-34 usage was very poor. His Zis gun support should have been there, and like his squad losses were mainly from being careless, you know, like losing the squad on the VP over here because he didn't cancel the sandbag. Just generally careless losses, not because Stormjager was like doing any sick moves, like intercepting him, moving into the retreat paths, doing anything that amazing. It was more SM91 just not paying enough attention to his units. But yeah, GG. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.